What up, Blue Jays? Sean Blue here. This one is called, or roughly called, I'm not too sure what I'm going to title this, but Man at Vaughn's. When I walked into Vaughn's grocery store, I noticed a young man standing in line. And he was tall. He was like, I think even taller than me, and I'm 6'2". And and he had like a high and tight haircut, like he kind of looked like a marine. Except he had like those slightly stretched earlobes, but he could have got that later in life. I don't know what. And here we're talking outside. I'm kind of curious what's going on. I saw this weird young couple looking at me before. Well, anyway, so when I was in Vaughn's, it was like I was just getting like a few items and stuff, and when I got to a line, I noticed that he was still in line and stuff like that. Well, I guess he had like maybe four people ahead of him, and then when I got to line, he was still in line, and then the woman was gonna start registering his stuff, and I noticed that he was buying like it looked like tequila, and it looked like a lot of like ranch dressing and like a lot of dressings and stuff like that. I just noticed, and he kind of like looked back at me, and he kind of pretended that he wasn't looking at me, but why he was like kind of like looking, he turned around and he looked like he was looking at something beyond, but I could tell that he was looking at me, but pretending to be looking at something else in the back. And he done that like a few times, and he smiled at me, and I smiled back. And yeah, and he kind of looked like he had black hair and like kind of like bluish green eyes. He might have been Greek because a lot of Greek people from Greece and stuff like that, they have like the green eyes and the dark hair. And well, anyway, like nothing too much of the story and stuff like that, but I just noticed this interesting man, this like tall man who's young, and it was funny. I did some quick math because since he was buying tequila, he was buying some alcohol. The woman asked like, "Oh, what's your birthday?" And he said like, "Blah blah blah, 92." Now I was born in 87, so this man is 5 years younger than me. I'm 34. That means he's 29. He's going to be turning the big 30 this year. Like I'm going to be turning 35 this year. So I did some quick math of how old he was. And yeah, and anyway, he just bought his stuff, and he just walked off, and then I bought my stuff. But so like, we both went our own different ways, but I just thought that was an interesting person that I saw at Vaughn's. And he noticed me too. So yeah, I guess an interesting man.